What's striking to me is that despite the unrelenting opposition during the first 3 years of his administration, the president's been able to accomplish so much. And in my area of law enforcement, for example, since he came into office, we've been able to push down violent crime. We've expanded enforcement against firearms with Project Guardian, and I'm announcing a crackdown on violent crime in a number of cities that he directed me to do once the impeachment process started and the ability to come to some compromise on a violent crime bill fell apart. He directed me to do whatever we can without that legislation. So we're moving forward.
With regard to why you're here in Detroit, you wrote a piece this week that talked about the lack of respect for police officers in the United States is something that you're very concerned about. And you said, when we show our respect and appreciation for our police, it says more about our love of liberty and justice than perhaps any other act. What do you think has been fueling the anti-cop feeling in some parts of the United States?
It's a mystery to me, because when you stop and think about it, we rely so much on our police to keep us safe. And, we learned the lesson after Vietnam that our heroes who fight in our wars to protect us deserve our respect. And at least we now show them the respect they're due. But when you stop and think about it, the police are doing that also, and they have the toughest job in the United States. There's no job tougher than being a policeman. And we don't seem to show them the same respect and recognize the sacrifices they make. It's a heavy toll that job has. And I've been trying to point out that in a full employment economy, there are a lot of other options for these people. And we can't take for granted that there are always going to be people of this character who are willing to step up and take these jobs. And there's a shortage of police around the country. So I think as a country, just as we did soul searching around after Vietnam about how we treat our military, I think we have to do some soul searching about how we treat our police.
You gave a dinner for, I think, a couple hundred police officers in New York City, treating them all to a big Italian dinner in New York. Why did you want to do that?
As I said to them, I think it's a noble, there's no more noble job than serving as a police officer. And I wanted to convey to them the respect I have and the appreciation I have for the job they do. I grew up in New York City. NYPD is sort of the police force of my youth. I think they're not only New York's finest, they're the country's finest. And I thought going and having dinner with a large group of the police officers would be a good way to send that message.
You talked in your piece about social justice DAs, and you put social justice in quotes. What do you mean by that? What does that mean, social justice DAs?
Well, there's been this recent development where George Soros has been coming in largely in Democratic primaries where they're not going to be much voter turnout, and putting in a lot of money to elect people who are not very supportive of law enforcement and don't view the office as bringing to trial and prosecuting criminals, but pursuing other social agendas. And they have started to win in a number of cities, and they have, in my view, not given the proper support to the police. And they're following policies that are ultimately going to lead to an increase in violent crime and more victims.
Do you think if people don't treat their police officers better in communities that they're going to sort of bite off their nose, just bite their face, that they'll end up with fewer police officers, fewer people who want to protect them?
Yeah, I was accused of suggesting that the police are going to withdraw their protection. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is most police forces in the country have a high number of vacancies. And as the job gets higher and as police feel that the prosecutors or their political leaders in a jurisdiction are not supporting them, they either can stop being police or they can move to a jurisdiction that's more hospitable. And I think that, we could find ourselves in the position that if we don't, communities that aren't supporting the police may not get the police protection they need.
Attorney General Barr, thank you very much. Good to have your time today.
Thank you.